Hello, Ryan. You said that you like to jot down a few notes and just talk for our YouTube conversation. I'm glad that works for you, and I appreciate your participation. I agree that whatever we're doing by choice in our available time, it should be something enjoyable and stress-free. And it's good that we have a bit of contrasting styles. You are able to be more authentic and natural, whereas my word choice is a bit more precise, but I am more robotic and contrived. And if I talked completely extemporaneously or with no notes, that would give me tremendous anxiety. I think we both agree with the sentiment of to each his own and live and let live. I've actually been meaning to consistently journal, but I feel that this platform has been my form of writing and saying my thoughts. So, not only are we maintaining our communication, but personally, it's therapeutic, it gets me writing regularly, and it helps me reflect. So, thank you for making these videos because they are fulfilling and incentivizing for me in many ways. And honestly, you're doing me a real favor. Okay, you reminisced about some of your favorite Oregon Ducks football games and players, and that's really what's special about sports, even if you're not playing. You can look back on the highs and lows, the excitement of seeing a player you love win the game, or the devastation of losing to a rival. If you can share those experiences with other people who are also invested in the team and follow the history, you can create shared meaningful moments. Even if they are vicarious, they are important nonetheless, especially when you get to see a live game. All right, you asked, what does poverty look like to you in Japan? And honestly, I know extremely little about poverty in the US, let alone in Japan. So it's a good opportunity for me to do a little research and become more aware of an important part of society. And I'm glad that professionally, you will have the chance to increase your knowledge and hopefully make more informed decisions that could lead to some positive change. So despite my ignorance about poverty in Japan, I know that Japanese people in general tend to ignore their problems rather than face them directly. Japan is for the most part conservative and slow to change, and I believe that the government does not make a strong effort to acknowledge that poverty is a serious issue worth allocating resources towards, and it's often perceived that being homeless is a choice or due to laziness or addiction. However, poverty is becoming more and more of a real and known issue as the poverty rate is undeniably increasing. So since I don't have a lot of firsthand experience, this is based on an article in the Japan Times titled Pandemic Highlights Hidden Poverty in Wealthy Japan. And in that article, they mentioned that more than 10 million people in Japan live on less than 19,000 US dollars a year, while 1 in 6 lives in relative poverty on incomes less than half the national median. Economists say that 500,000 Japanese lost their jobs in the past 6 months, and campaigners say the ripple effects are spreading across the population and the middle class is collapsing. A 1 percentage point rise in Japan's unemployment rate translates into roughly 3,000 additional suicides per year. Women, in particular, are facing economic hardship because many work on temporary contracts in retail, restaurants, and hotels, and many women are likely not publicly to seek assistance because they feel that their children won't be able to walk with their heads high even if they are on welfare. While statistics show rising applications for public assistance, the shame and stigma of being a welfare recipient made many reluctant to seek help. Everyone has the legal rights to use welfare, but society does not necessarily tolerate that. So, in sum, Japan already had a poverty problem before the coronavirus, but it isn't really socially acceptable to seek help or to shine a light on the issue. Additionally, it's worth mentioning that unemployment rate remains fairly low, but that's mainly because of the increase in part-time jobs, but these part-time jobs have insufficient benefits. Also, the changing of traditional three-generation family structures and the declining population have various and significant impacts. And Japan's general conservative nature of gender norms, social expectations, and their unwillingness to make substantial progressive change needs to be understood in order to grasp the complex context of poverty in Japan. So, I don't have much personal knowledge or strong opinion about a solution, but I hope that we don't sweep a humanitarian issue like poverty under the rug. And I hope that everyone, and people like you who have a voice in the matter, take the time to understand the many nuanced factors that lead to poverty, address the root causes instead of using a band-aid or turning a blind eye, and mostly, simply to be a compassionate and empathetic human, even if taking a close inspection at a difficult truth is difficult, painful, or shameful. It's an endeavor worth pursuing. Okay, thanks for putting this topic on my radar. And please check out the links in the description for some clearer answers to your questions. All right, my question for you. In either Arizona or your county or in Cottonwood, what are a few of the big systems like we talked about poverty? It can be poverty, education, healthcare, transportation. What are some of those big things that would need a dramatic renovation or a much larger piece of the tax dollar pie? In other words, if you were a politician, what areas would you prioritize in order to make a real change based on your values and your observations? So you don't need to explain the details of a hypothetical plan, just generally, what do you think deserves more immediate attention and why? All right, thank you. Talk to you soon.